Good morning, Facebook family. Okay, so I told you all I was going to be getting y'all some more pictures and videos of the Liberty Looper and what I got going on. So I'm going to do a quick walk around with you. So stick with me. Okay, in my previous video, I said there's a few things on this boat I'd never seen before. Well, we're going to start with this basically wave shield. So when I was looking at building this boat or designing it, I wanted to put this shield up front where I could keep the waves from coming over the front, give me a little bit more, lift there and everything, protection, stuff like that. But at the same time, my concern on this was as I was hitting like the lakes and rivers and stuff like that, it would catch a lot of air, create a lot of almost lift, and be super inefficient for running most of the time. So I got with War Eagle Boats on this, told them, I said, hey, I want to have this on the front of the boat, but at the same time, I want it to be able to go away as well. Initially, we kind of looked at a folding concept, but after a lot of debate and looking at different things, we decided to go with a removable. So this thing bolts down to the front here in multiple spots, and it has this cord right here, your your navigation lights, and it plugs in right here. Now, what about when I'm running and I don't need the shield and it's either in the way or whatever? So what they did was they designed this area down here where those bolts line up right here, and you can mount it down here out of the way, doesn't catch any air or anything like that. Well, the next piece that came into question, okay, well, our nav lights up here, what if I want to run at night without the shield, but they're down here? So we went ahead and added an additional red-green pole in the back there. Oh, where are we at? Right there. Where we could plug that in. So I'm going to go ahead and set this down so y'all can see kind of what the boat looks like with the wave shield and then without the wave shield. Okay, now the wave shield has been removed. It's down in a spot where it goes when I don't need it. And like I said, it aligns there, bolts down, out of the way, clearance is fine, we're good to go. So now this is what the boat looks like without it. That's one of the pieces I'm very excited about. Okay, so the next piece that is a little bit different than what I've seen on any of the other boats, Robert has something somewhat similar with running multiple bilge pumps, which we decided to go with the same concept there. But most people run bilge pumps of 500 to 800 gallons per hour, some maybe a little bit more. We decided to go with three 4,700 gallon per hour bilge pumps. So we can pump almost 15,000 gallons per hour. Now, the reason we decided to go with that is we wanted to be able to run out in the open ocean, take some waves over the bow, get a lot of water in the boat, but also be able to get it out really quick. So after looking around, we decided to go with this concept. So there's bilge 1, over there's bilge 2, and then over there, you can kind of see is bilge 3. Now, to keep the water, when the water comes over the bow or comes into the boat, we wanted to be able to contain it as well. So the Ward team decided to put in trays, basically. So all the water that comes into the boat feeds to these trays. Now, once the water goes into these trays, it retains it until the bilge pumps can take it and remove it from the boat. And so it's not sloshing back. The bilge pumps are not running dry, stuff like that there and everything. It really gets it out. Now, another thing we did on our switch panel was we put each bilge pump on its own switch. That way we could choose to run 1, 2, or 3 as needed. You don't want to overdo it, but at the same time, we take a lot of water in this boat. We want it out. So we went with that concept. Now, with that being said, we didn't just like the hoses just running over the side. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not bad, but we wanted a cool factor to this as well, but it needed to be super effective. So something that I had zero part in, the Ward team completely came up with on their own, War Eagle Boats, is they put this little piece here and attached it to the side rail here and everything. And what this does is it protects our bilge pump. And well, this is not the pump, this is just the pipe, but it protects it in case I'm docking, I step on something, do something. So they're completely enclosed from a protection standpoint. I don't have to worry about damaging them, but it didn't take away from any of the effectiveness. So I'm super excited about that one. So the next thing they did that I really do like is they put these pods on the back. Now, this is not something new to the boating industry, not new to the Great Loop, nothing like that. This is just something we added to the boat that allowed it to have more lift, the more being able to carry more weight. Between these two pods, they add roughly 375 gallons, or 375 pounds of flotation, which almost offsets the weight of the motor. So with that being said, we're very excited about that one as well, having that extra flotation back there and everything. And when you talk about motors, something that will get out and run like a scalded dog, this 150 horse Merc, my goodness, this thing pushes us up and down the river like crazy. So back here is our fuel tank one. It's a 40-gallon tank and two Blue Top Optima batteries. I've used them for years. I really like them. I know a lot of people like lithium. I like those as well. There's nothing wrong with those, but these have been very dependable for me, and so that's what we went with. And Barling Boat Sales is the ones that put these together for us. They ran them parallel, which I know it's not hard, but they took that on, said, we want to handle this. If you've never dealt with Barling Boat Sales, I highly recommend them. They're in Barling, Arkansas, well, maybe technically Fort Smith, but all the same, great to deal with. This back here is my toolbox. So in the little top piece here, just a few little handy things that I might need. And then the more technical stuff starts in here and down there. So it's a waterproof case, bodied over Bass Pro, absolutely love it. And then I got a little more space here, just where I'm gonna put my extra oil, stuff like that. Okay, so let's talk fuel. That was a big thing for us. How much fuel can we carry? How much fuel should we carry? What does that look like with the motor? So here's what we decided to go with. We have a 40-gallon tank here, and then we have from RDS Manufacturing down in Florida. I think it was, what is it, Perry, Florida? Yep, Perry, Florida. They put together these two bad boys. Each one of these are 75-gallon tanks, so that's 150 gallons here, another 40 up front. That gives us 190 gallons, probably 175 to 180 usable gallons. And that allows us to stretch out our range a little bit and really get out there and be able to move without having to hit too many marinas. Now, with that being said, I had a lot of people say, well, why did you go with the 150? I would have put a 200, I would have put a 250. And to be honest, those are fair questions. And we looked at that. We said, okay, what's the best bang for our buck? What makes the most sense? So after looking at it, the 150 horse Merc, when you look at its weight to power ratio, it does very, very well. It's a great platform there and everything. And when we moved into the 250 range, it still does a great job, but you add a lot of extra weight with that motor. But the big thing is the fuel consumption. It burns almost twice as much fuel as this one does, and we really wasn't going to be gaining a whole lot of speed. This boat is super light, so without the motor, it's dry weight, laden weight is roughly about 875 pounds, which is a very light platform. Now, with 190 gallons, you can figure roughly adding 11 to 1,300 pounds of weight in there and everything. And so we was looking at that, and we said, okay, with this motor, the miles per gallon that we're getting and the speed to which it will obtain, it does an absolutely wonderful job. It makes the most sense. It's a very dependable, great platform. That's why we went with this. Yes, a 250 is faster, but the fuel burn was going to have us hitting more marinas, and it was going to be burning up more time. And so there really wasn't a net gain to it. So that's why we went with this platform. And after running it, using it, couldn't be happier. And the boat is kind of spooky fast. So we're not going to talk about its top speeds, but we can get out and cruise no problem north of 50 mile an hour, and it's not even a thing. So really happy with that. Now, let's go around here, kind of look at a couple more things. Okay, let's talk about the helm. Now, I had in my head what I wanted the helm to look like. I put together a cutout thing, science fair project looking helm. I took it to War Eagle Boats, the war team, and said, okay, this is my concept. This is what I want it to look like. This is what I'm going to do. And they looked at it and they said, well, you're not a boat builder. We're a boat builder. Let us build this for you. We want this to be right. And that was early on in our relationship. And I like that they said that, but it wasn't until later that I truly understood it. So when you're dealing, and let me say this, War Eagle Boats is not sponsoring this. I'm not paid by them. It's not like that. They built the boat. We paid Barling Boat Sales for the boat. Barling paid War Eagle Boats. I'm talking about War Eagle because they would do it until they got it right. Getting it done wasn't enough. Getting it done right was the key for them. And I got to see that time and time again in their execution on this product. I mean, absolutely wonderful, wonderful product. They came out and said, okay, you built this, you designed this helm. We're going to put our flair to it, our touch to it. And this is what they came up with. And to be honest, so very happy. So running dual Simrad, let's see here, it's the Go 9 XSEs, absolutely love them. We also have our compass on there. We've got Mercury View in there. We've got just about anything and everything we need. And they put all this together. But the one thing that I thought was really interesting that they did was they kind of changed the front of it a little bit. And they gave it kind of this like little, almost like a lip or something here. And I thought, okay, it's just like a little design thing, like aesthetics, no big deal. Well, it wasn't until I got out and was running the boat, it was like, oh, okay, I get it now. So what's neat about this is when the air impacts this helm, what it does is it doesn't just hit it and shoot off to the sides or just wrap right around behind it. It actually creates a little bit of a vortex. And so when you're sitting in the captain's seat over here, when you're sitting in this seat, you do not feel any air back here. Like you're not getting wind burn, you're not getting, you can sit there and be holding a ham sandwich and you don't feel any air hitting you, which is absolutely wonderful because it is a very narrow design, and that was because we wanted to keep it efficient. We did not want a lot of wind resistance, but somehow they managed to get it where when you're sitting in this captain chair, you feel nothing. Now, if you step 1 foot left or right, I mean, you're getting slammed. So being right there, being able to run up and down the river while not getting, completely windblown is absolutely wonderful. Okay, so a lot of people has asked me about the row bar up top. And what we got going on here is, no, it's not for a canopy. It's nothing like that. This is for some more of our technology. So on top of it will be our Starlink system. And then on the bottom side of it is a camera system, a night vision camera system. And it's going to allow us to be able to operate night safely. So if you've never heard of the company, I highly suggest you look it up. They're not sponsoring us. They're just a good American-made company. It's Boat Eye 360. This camera system will mount at the bottom there and everything, and is going to allow us to run at night and be able to see what we have going on using this monitor system. Once again, Boat Eye 360, and it will be able to function 16 to 18 hours a day with being able to operate safely. So once again, very excited about that. Now, something else that we can discuss, because they've given me permission to, is there's a technology company that has partnered up with us called Samsara. Now, what Samsara is they do a lot of stuff in heavy equipment fields, ELDs for semi-trucks, tracking systems for heavy equipment, things like this. Well, they've developed a new camera system. It's a 360 camera, which I know that's not new to the world, but what it does is, and this is really neat, is it takes the front half and the back half and threads it together. And so an infinite amount of people can log in, click on this, look around, see what we got going in real time. We're going to live stream the whole thing. It's going to be really dang cool. So it's going to go up there as well. Now, a lot of people ask me, what about your canopy? Where's that going to go? We're not going to run a canopy. Once again, after we got to looking at it, canopies, although they are very nice, very convenient, create a lot of shade, we do not feel that from an efficiency standpoint, that's where we want to be. Once again, everything about this is how can we be hyper efficient? So we've decided to forego the canopy, and we're gonna go with the old suck it up buttercup and just get after it. So that's what we're gonna do on that. Now, on several different things, you're gonna see Marine Corps logo, the EGA, Eagle Globe and Anchor. So I was in the Marine Corps. It's something I'm very passionate about. You know, we're doing this to raise awareness for the Wounded Warrior Project and Tunnel to Towers, and that's something that's very near and dear to my heart. And so that's why you see that kind of all over the place there. So really, that's the boat in a nutshell. That's kind of what we got going on. There's more things that we're going to talk about. There's more things we're going to show you, but those are the big pieces.